Hey, it's Walter. Hey, I'm back again. I'm doing another show. Hopefully it sounds alright. I'm kind of, spending more time, I think, on the camera than anything else. So I'm going to take a look over. Because I want people to see what I kind of do. I'm not sure. Anyway, you know what? It was kind of weird tonight before I even read into my story. So I was talking to a friend and a coworker, which I don't work directly with them anymore. But they mentioned to me something tonight. They were just giving me a heads up. And they said, I don't think it's anything to do with you. But it was like, I'm kind of curious now. Maybe it did have something to do with me. And she just doesn't want to admit to it. But it basically boiled down to, she said, I guess a couple women at work went to HR and were complaining about sexual harassment. And she said, I don't think it has anything to do with me. But yet, I hate to say it, there's a couple women at work that have been acting really weird. And I work second shift, so I really don't see these people for more than 5 or 10 minutes at the end of their shift, and that they go home. So it's pretty sad. And I have a friend who, the females, he's a supervisor. They ganged up on him and actually got him fired more than once. Never mind. Anyway, disregard what I just said. The thing is, though, people are very hostile when they want to be, and they will. I mean, this is stuff you expect out of high school students and grade school. Well, maybe not grade school, mostly, I guess, high school age. But it's pretty scary when somebody tries to, and take you to HR. See, the place I work, though, there's a lot of places like that, so it can be anywhere. But I work for a union, a place that has a union, and I know Acme Markets. Years ago, I worked for Acme, and they had a union. I'm trying to think where else. There was some supermarket. I used to go to Montgomery County Community College. There was a supermarket around there, and they actually had a union. Now, what they did with that place is they closed it down and they opened the place as a non-union place. I can't remember the grocery market, and they just basically try to hire the people back at like a third of what they were making, like a lot less money, basically. So anyway, that has nothing to do with what I just said. I guess my thing is, though, there is some vicious people out there, and I guess women have this tendency to try to get, hey, we don't like this guy, because this has happened again to a friend, and they ganged up on him. I hate to say it because of his position, and they successfully had made sure that he would lose his job. And you know what? That's just ridiculous. And the thing is, though, I've been having an ongoing case where I have certain medical restrictions, and I fit under the Disabilities Act, which they are well aware of, even HR. So if it was towards me, I never heard anything about it. So that's why she didn't think that would be the case, my one female friend / coworker. But I would not be surprised. Just by, you can tell a lot by people's nonverbal communications. That means their body language. And it wouldn't really shock me if a couple of women just decided, well, we don't like Walter. I mean, it sounds like I'm being paranoid, but just from years of experience, it would not surprise me. And it's pretty sad. It is really sad in this day and age. You got to deal with, such stupidity. Anyway, I will try to keep this show. I'm already on my 5-minute mark, so I'm going to keep it to 15 minutes every night because I'm doing the video podcast as well. Anyway, one interesting story I really, I don't know if it's interesting. I think it's an MTV show that was on. Yeah, it says MTV's True Life, and this is from the UK Daily Mail, and it's titled, My Greatest Fear is Getting Old. A 19-year-old vegetarian model bathes in pig's blood in a desperate bid to maintain her youthful look. So, it was boggling my mind, though, because this is something that was on MTV, and it was like, okay, now it kind of, it hit something that was like, hit a chord, whatever you want to say. So I looked it up, and it was this Elizabeth I can't say her last name, but I actually found somebody who could say it. Batherly or Betherly. I think it's Betherly. Elizabeth Betherly. She was a countess, and you're talking in a Hungarian, and I think that's where the whole deal started with, the myths about vampires. But this woman was obsessed, this countess. I've heard this on a TV show before, where she was obsessed, and she was known as like the worst serial killer too. She would kill people and bathe in their blood. I'm trying to look, because I found it actually on Wikipedia. If you look up Elizabeth Betherly, I think that's the correct way to say it. It says Countess Elizabeth Betherly. Hungarian, it says 7th of August, 1560, to 21st of August, 1614. Well, that's a pretty short period of time, isn't it? Was a countess from re-owned Betherly family of... It doesn't really matter. The point was, okay, spans of killing... Oh, okay, I'm sorry, folks. Yeah, it was her span of killing people. She was considered the worst serial killer. Was from 1590 to 1610. Yeah, it's just funny, but I think that was one... There was the story about... was it Vlad the Impaler? Plaid the Impaler? I think it's Vlad. These were stories that kind of led into what vampirism was, where it got started. It actually says something about Count Dracula in this one story about this Elizabeth Baverly. So when I saw that with this lady, or this girl, she's not a lady, she's a young girl, who's obsessed. I mean, you're 19 years old and you're already worried about getting wrinkles and stuff. That's really sad. I mean, I'm in my late 40s. I'm more worried about it, and not as much as she is, though. That's to the extreme. Hey, by the way, it was funny. I just saw this article. I got to see where I'm at my time. I'm already at 7. It was on Uprocks, and it just came up tonight. This website, no puns intended, because when I read a little bit of what it's about, you're gonna say, "What? He's trying to make a funny joke." It's like, no, I'm not. Anyway, it says, meet the man whose luggage is around 7 pounds. Let me reread that. It says, man's luggage is around 7 pounds silicone injected penis. Anyway, it states in this article from Uprocks, anyone who says the size doesn't matter hasn't met Mika, a German man with an important distinction. It says he's rocking a penis so injected with silicone and saline that it currently weighs 7 pounds and it's impossible to hide from the naked eye. So that was pretty funny. There's actually a video on Uprocks on that article too, if anybody is interested. I thought it was pretty funny. It did just come up tonight. Anyway, here's another interesting story, again from Uprocks Web Culture. That's spelled, in case I'm pronouncing it wrong, UPROXX. It's the title of the story was, a woman allegedly stabbed her husband because his poop smelled too bad. And this was like an Asian couple. But it was it was an Asian couple though. Yeah, and the woman couldn't stand. I mean, there was basically, the article says there's certain things that people complain about or, get in arguments about, spousal problems. But this particular woman had to stab her husband because his shit smelled too bad. So it's pretty funny. I kind of just glanced over it, honestly. And I got to check my time again. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Hey, you know what? There was a story, and it was on myphilly.com, and this was one of these heart-wrenching stories again, so I kind of threw in the mix. It's not to be sarcastic or anything, because trust me, it is very heart-wrenching. But it's titled, Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep, Giving Grieving Families in Philadelphia Area a Chance to Remember. And it's a picture of this man holding this little girl, a baby, an infant. And when I started reading it, earlier tonight, it was like, well, the baby had died, and they just wanted to remember their daughter. She was just an infant. So basically, it looks really, I don't know how else to put it. It looks cute. But the poor thing, she's like, looks like she's sleeping with her mouth, like putting her thumb in her mouth, and she literally looks like she's asleep. But yeah, the child had passed away. So you can find that article though again on myphilly.com. It's pretty heart wrenching. I don't think I could get through that reading that. Well, minus that I am really bad of pronouncing words or the screwing up articles to begin with. It's just really depressing. I mean, not depressing. Well, it is. So, yeah. I thought I had other articles. It doesn't matter. This might even be a shorter show than I expected. But, yeah, that whole thing with work, I might as well just go back about that. I'm trying to see if there was anything else I might have missed. That's pretty scary when you have women who gang up on you. And you know what? I really just mind my own business. I don't bother with anybody. I pretty much am by myself, and I was wondering why all of a sudden all these women were at work, just like minus the people who are in this one particular building that I work, just acting really funny to me all of a sudden. And now it kind of makes sense. It's all kind of fitting together. It's like, okay, this makes total sense. Unfortunately, it's really scary too that people will that easily gang up on somebody. It might be just out of boredom. I don't know, but yeah. Bottom line is the friend / coworker basically said it was, you should go to the union. These women should have went to the union if they have a problem with somebody, and not to the company, because what ends up happening 9 times out of 10 is not only do you get that person in trouble who, if it is me, I didn't do anything wrong, you're going to get yourself fired. And that's basically, if it's verbal, it's liable, and if it's written down, if they actually make a statement, then you're talking slander. And you could, if it was me, and if I find out those accusations were about me, trust me, I will definitely pursue it legally, because I think that's just really ridiculous. I don't know. I just don't understand people. I mean, I've dealt with this on numerous, not sexual accusations, but other things such as, people accuse me of other things and are trying to get me in trouble, and I didn't do anything. So people just like to find fault in everybody except themselves. Hey, you know what? On a lighter note, because I'm probably going to wrap this up pretty quickly tonight, make it short and sassy. Yeah, it was funny. What do you call it? Yeah, you really know what do you call it is. There was a video put up, a teaser, and it was actually from Zack Snyder himself on his Twitter webpage, and he actually put up a teaser for the Batman versus Superman movie coming out. So he's actually really putting that out there himself. It's I'm looking at it right now. It's on his very own Zack Snyder's. It's official. His own Twitter page. So yeah, because I signed up for his now. Hey, it's kind of funny because I know I got some director who actually added me. I think I asked him originally. He finally added me. I can't remember which one it was. I know I got Kevin Smith, but he adds everybody, and he really never responds if you ask him anything. So, yeah, it's kind of cool because that's what I wanted to do. That's why I'm doing this, trying to do this video and podcast thing now. Oh yeah, I'm looking at it now too. It's really touching, the picture of the man holding his infant daughter. It's a shame, but what can I say? Oh, here was one I'm looking at right now. I wanted to mention. I don't know if that's was like, it's kind of, I don't want to say freaky. It's interesting. How's that? It was a picture. It was on Fox and Friends. And this was on Facebook. And they showed this picture they pulled out of the ruins of 9/11 from what was left from, well, basically it's called Ground Zero, but from the, now it's called the Freedom Towers. I can't remember now. Twin Towers in New York. Well, there were some of the beams that literally took. It's freaky because I'm Christian, not a practicing Catholic, but I'm Christian. And I'm looking at the picture right now, and this was like actually pulled out of the ruins, but it literally looks like a crucifix. And I mean, it looks like the one like Christ was on, because part of the metal is bent over in such a way where there's that, I can't remember what it's called, above his head. There looked like there's, if you ever looked at a crucifix, there's something above his head. I think it was, I forget what it is, some type of, it looks like a piece of paper, basically. Well, this thing looks not only like a crucifix, but it looks like it has that thing that's above Christ's head, and it was pulled out of the ruins. And it says the symbolic Ground Zero cross will stay at the 9/11 Memorial Museum as atheists lose their case. And it says explanation point. In the ruling, the judge said the stated purpose of displaying the cross, Ground Zero, is to tell the story of how some people used faith to cope with the tragedy. I'm sorry, I messed it up. Used to cope with this tragedy, and genuine and objective observer would understand the purpose to display this secular like and share to show. Anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to mess it up. I kind of got a little bit sidetracked too, so I apologize. I actually got where, but yeah, I'm where I want to get. But yeah, check it out. It was dated July 29th, I guess, originally posted. It just resurfaced again though, because it said when I found it, it was like 10 hours ago. But it was on Fox and Friends, so I don't know if that's close to the top. I'm checking now. Anyway, I kind of drug out that last thing, and I really screwed it up. I fucked it up, so I'm going to let it go at that. But yeah, that was pretty interesting. I have it on my Facebook page, so if anybody is actually really listening, which I don't think anybody is, besides myself, I think I just keep on checking my video cast out, hoping that somebody's listening to it, but actually, when I look at it, I'm only actually adding myself, so yeah, that's pretty funny. But yeah, that was pretty interesting, that crucifix-looking thing from 9/11. Folks, I hope you had a good night. This was a kind of dead news thing I did tonight, but I'm half asleep too. So everyone, have a good night, and I will hope that you are listening.